Hi, everyone. Thanks very much for joining us for another edition of Alumni Chats here. I'm here with a alumna from one of our Uganda programs. So, Ashley, would you like to take a moment to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi, I'm Ashley Alessandra, and I'm a student at George Washington University, and I study international affairs with concentrations in Africa and conflict resolution, and I studied abroad in spring of 2016.
Well, thank you very much for taking some time today. I know you must be back at school, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. We'll jump right into it. So I know there are quite a few options to study abroad out there. So what made you choose Uganda and Africa and
Well,
SIT?
yes, I knew I always wanted to go to Africa, and SIT's program combined both conflict resolution and Africa. And then I specifically chose SIT because of the research opportunity. I really wanted to do undergraduate research, and it seemed like a great way to go abroad to Africa, learn about the issues, and then get to conduct research for a month.
So you mentioned a very big aspect of SIT with the research that kind of sets us apart from other providers. If you had to name one aspect of your semester that was your favorite, would that be it, or would it be something else?
Yeah, it would be it. It was the most rewarding, but also most frustrating time of my study abroad experience. Just you have a lot to do, a lot of interviews, a lot of writing, but after when you look back and you have the paper there and you have your research as an undergraduate student, it's very rewarding.
Excellent. So if you could name one thing that you think you learned on your SIT semester that you don't think you could have learned anywhere else, what would that be?
I think that would be the ability to conduct research in a different environment. When you're just sitting in a classroom, you don't really have that opportunity. So, getting out there and really getting to conduct research, ask your own questions, and investigate the issues that are important to you, I think that's really important.
That sounds very good. Now, do you want to elaborate a little more for anyone who may be watching this, what you conducted your research on, and have you continued that research topic, theme, or area studies while you're back at your home university?
Mhm. So when I went on the program, I knew I wanted to do something with human rights. And when I was taking the classes in the first 3 months of the program, I was really interested in internal displacement. So I decided to combine my two interests in internal displacement and human rights. And I also wanted to connect it to more contemporary issues. So I looked at how the displacement period is still impacting people today. So I looked at issues such as unemployment, poverty, and the dependency syndrome that you can all link back to the displacement period and how that continues to impact people's lives today in northern Uganda.
And it definitely does.
Yes.
So it definitely does. So now, as you know, you were on one of our smaller programs there in Uganda, and we intentionally keep our programs small because we want them to. It leads to a good experiential learning environment. So you
Mhm.
have very personalized teaching there, but at the same time, it means a lot of people don't know who we are. So as I'm sure down in DC there, you have had to explain SIT to people that may not know who we are.
Mhm.
How would you do that?
Well, at George Washington University, SIT is actually one of the more famous study abroad programs. So a lot of people do know about it. But I actually am a tour guide for the university. So I talk about SIT on all of my tours and my experience abroad. So that's one way that I really get the word out about SIT.
Excellent. So now, in a sentence or two, can you tell me on those tours, how do you explain who we are?
Mhm. So I talk about how I went abroad with SIT, School for International Training, and it's a program that combines both in-class learning and out-of-class learning with the research, and it's a great opportunity to get into undergraduate research and investigate issues that are really important to you and something that you wouldn't be able to do if you just stayed back in the States.
Well, you're hired. Okay. So thank you for being so succinct about that. Now, to change topics a little bit, if you knew before you applied for SIT, everything that you knew now, what do you wish you could tell that Ashley, who was sitting there trying to sort out whether or not she wanted to go to Uganda? What would you tell her? Hey, it's going to be like this, or hey, pay attention to this when you're there.
I think I would try to read more books about Eastern Africa and try to understand more issues before going. I think that just makes picking out a research topic a little bit easier.
That is very understandable. It's such a
Mhm.
complex part of the world.
Mhm.
So now, as we get to the end of this, I always like to ask students, ask alumni, if they could reach through the screen and tell someone who may be saying, okay, I want to study abroad, but I'm not exactly sure where or when or how, what would you say to them about studying abroad?
So I went abroad as a sophomore. A lot of people at my university go abroad as a junior. So I definitely recommend going abroad earlier because I just think you get to experience more and then you get to come back and do internships and you really get to take advantage of going abroad early. Um, Also, I think study abroad is such an important part to international affairs if you're doing that major. But I think it's a great opportunity for anyone in any major. Going out and experiencing something that you haven't experienced before is really important. And I absolutely loved my experience in Africa. So I definitely recommend going someplace that is more unconventional and something you wouldn't think about.
Well, I'm going to go study abroad now. So thank you very much again for taking some time today to talk with me. I know our alumni are always very invaluable to our prospective students. So now, is there anything else that you'd like to say about your study abroad that we haven't covered, or that you'd like to say to prospective students who are watching this?
Sure. One last thing that I think is really important to the SIT programs is the homestay experience. I absolutely loved my homestay family. I'm an only child, so I was a little worried about that. And I know that scares some people when they know that they'll be living with a homestay family for so long. But it was a really great experience. I still talk to my homestay mom and dad, and my little brothers were absolutely adorable.
Do you keep in contact with them still?
Yeah, we email. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you again very much. I wish you the best of luck in your junior year, I believe you said.
Yes.
And keep in touch because we always like to hear where our SIT study abroad alumni end up.
hmm Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.